Hey, I'm Markia.
Want to hear something scary?
You can't bury the truth. Jada had been missing for a week. Everyone was distraught. She was popular, kind, an honors student. No one believed she'd just run away. The police organized search parties. Kids from school held vigils, weeping whilst lighting candles. But there was no trace of her. We were interviewed by the school, the cops, each other. Someone had to know something. Most of the senior class had been at Devon's last night. It was almost Thanksgiving, time for bonfire parties and football. Jada seemed to be having fun, dancing with the other cheerleaders, sneaking sweet kisses with her on-again, off-again, Sean. But at some point in between marshmallows and apple cider, she never made it home. I'd known her since preschool, so of course I helped with the searches, despite my parents wanting me to stay home. What if there's a serial killer out there? They asked protectively. But that was stupid. People didn't even know if Jada was actually dead. I felt the chill as I trudged through the designated area of the woods I'd been assigned by Detective DaCosta, but I just pulled my collar up over my ears. It was late November, after all. It was meant to be cold. The further I walked my patch, sifting through the leaves with the trash grabber, the more I could feel icy tendrils nipping at my body. I'd had to join the later search after school. The light was already starting to fade. I shivered, shocked that I could see my breath. Had the temperature really plummeted that much? Then, I heard the noise. More like a whisper, really. And at first I thought it was just the leaves or my imagination. Ludi. No, it couldn't be. I stood stock still, frozen to the spot, listening. Then right up close to my ear, Ludi. This time I screamed and ran across the leaves, dropping my grabber and flashlight. Out of my area, just needing to get away from that voice. I ran until my lungs felt like they might burst, and then stopped to catch my breath. Paxton Woods are vast, but I don't run track. And I shouldn't have been that far from the cops, from other people. Yet when I looked up, I was alone. Panicking, I spun around, checking my surroundings. Trees, leaves, but nothing else. The sun was rapidly setting now, light fading at an alarming rate, and I had nothing with me to help. I started to head back in the direction I'd presumed I'd come from, when the leaves in front of me started rustling. All of a sudden, they were flying all around me, wet and slimy despite having been dry since Jada went missing, spinning and twirling as if controlled by an unseen force. They were attacking me like a swarm, dust and wet dirt stinging my eyes as I slapped my hands about trying to bat them away. Then, just from behind me, that voice again. Louder this time. Ludi. My heart pounded and I sank to my knees. I screwed my eyes tight shut. This couldn't be happening. She was dead. I felt the cold again, daring to open my eyes just enough to see the ground around me visibly start to freeze. My teeth chattered, although whether with the chill or fear, I couldn't tell. Then, I felt it. A tap on my shoulder. I squeezed my eyes tight again, muttering a silent prayer despite long ago giving up on a higher being. Tap, tap. More urgently this time. Still, I resisted. Eyes squeezed shut until, "Look at me," the voice boomed. I whimpered, unwillingly opening them. Terror gripped my heart as I took in the sight before me. It was Jada. Or rather, what Jada had become in the weeks since I had killed her. She wasn't quite whole anymore. Her once glowing brown skin now pale and transparent. And although she was there, her image kept flickering, like someone messing with a light switch or the tracking on an old VHS tape. It hadn't been her fault she'd struggled to pronounce her C's when we were kids, and Ludi, rather than Lucy, was all she could manage. Or because everyone thought it was cute, and the boys quickly realized Ludi rhymes with cootie, so of course, Cootie Ludi and Ludi's got cooties was equally as hilarious. I could have forgiven her if that wretched nickname hadn't followed me to high school. And I would have let bygones be bygones if I hadn't sworn Sean was staring at me that night. If I hadn't come up to him behind the bonfire when no one else was around, my eyelashes batting, my heart pounding, and I might not have been forced to kill her if he hadn't looked right at me, smirked, and asked if I still got cooties before laughing and running back to her. I buried her body. Pretty sure I'd covered all bases so no evidence could be linked back to me. But it seemed I had forgotten the most important factor. Her body might have been dead and buried, but her vengeful spirit was still very much alive.